Hi guys, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to set up Google Shopping ads for Shopify. My name's Tim and I'm from Launchpresso Digital Marketing, where we focus on Google ads for Shopify, for our client sites, as well as our own. Now, if you've been following along with our Shopify walkthrough series, you'll notice that we've been spending a bit of time getting our test store set up, getting all the Google properties set up, in addition to our conversion tracking, and we're at the point where we can start launching ads. Best way to get started is with Google Shopping ads for an e-com store like Shopify. It's one of the cheapest and effective ways to get ads up and running in your store in no time. And if you haven't been following along with the Shopify walkthrough series, feel free to hit the subscribe button because I've got plenty of gold to share with you in future videos. So let me take you over to my screen now so we can walk through how to create your very first shopping campaign in Google Ads. So here we are back in our Google Ads account. We are using our test store, cheapcampinggear.net. We have got the tag manager set up, Google console set up, Google Analytics setup, and the Google Merchant Center setup, as well as a YouTube channel. And they're all tied and connected together, particularly into our Google Ads account. Under measurement and under summary, we do have our basic purchase conversion here for Shopify. It says it's currently inactive because we haven't had a sale on the store yet. And without further ado, let's get started with setting up a Google Shopping campaign. Come to the plus button here, where it says create. Click this. And today we're wanting to create a campaign. The first screen we come to is what's your objective? There's different types of options here that we can choose from, but we're going to be selecting sales because we want to drive online sales. So we'll select that. Now we just had a pop-up about grouping your conversion goals from existing actions. Not necessary for us now, so we'll exit the guide. Okay, we've got it. Here where it mentions use these conversion goals to improve sales. Yes, we want to do that. Now it says goals that are labeled at the account default will use data from all your campaigns to improve your bidding strategies and campaign performance, even if they don't seem directly related to sales. It mentions that we got two account default purchases here. If we take a look closely by hovering over two actions, it says there's two inactive at the moment. However, if you hit this drop down, it's got the cheap camping gear web purchase. If you remember from our previous video, that was the imported conversion action from Google Analytics or GA4, which we have set up as a secondary conversion because we're only wanting to observe this conversion action against our main conversion action, which is the Shopify purchase. They've also been set up for dynamic values, so all the values from each purchase should be imported into the Google Ads and align with our campaigns so we know how successful they are or not. So let's select continue. There's also other goals that you may want to add. For example, you might be looking at engagements, but for the purpose of this video, it's not necessary. We can cover that later on. Now we're up to campaign types. We have performance max, search, display, video, shopping, and the newest edition of demand gen. I'll cover all those off later on, but today we're sticking with shopping. And we do have our Merchant Center connected, so that's fine. We're going to be covering all products selected in the Google Merchant Center account. You can select certain feeds. If you have a much larger store, for whatever reason, you may split your products up into certain types of feed, maybe locations in different countries. Now under selecting a campaign subtype, there's Performance Max campaigns, which is like the old Smart Shopping style. They've now migrated over to Performance Max. And the reason they do that is because you get more expanded reach on your campaigns. It won't only just be shopping ads that you see across the top on Google. For an example, as you can see here, this is what the Google Shopping ads look like. As it mentions here, Performance Max also shows across other inventory like YouTube in-streams, Discover, even search ads within a single campaign. It's like an all-in-one encompassing campaign. And it also does retargeting for you as well. For the purpose of this video, we're sticking with a standard shopping campaign. And let's select continue. All right, give it a campaign name. For now, I'll call this one Cheap Camping Gear Test Shopping Campaign. You can always come back later and rename these should you wish. Let's hit the drop down on the additional settings. Okay, and we have an inventory filter as well, which doesn't really apply for us. We don't have no filter. It means we're advertising all our products in the country of sale. If you do have a filter for whatever reason, for example, you may only want to be showing certain products in certain countries or may have certain requirements. And if you did select the filter and you had an attribute in your data feed, you can select one of these attributes. Like, for example, you might have a brand like Nike shoes, but you don't want to advertise that in Australia, for example. You can select that and then you can add in the value like Nike if that's part of one of the brands. But today, we don't have any filters, so we can leave that. We don't sell products in local stores. However, some of our clients do, and we manage this for them as well. Now, under campaign URL, if you're using third-party tracking tools, you may want to complete this, but that's a bit more of an advanced strategy, and I'll cover that in a later video. And under bidding and budget, one of the most important parts to get right with your campaigns is getting your bidding strategy selected. We have a couple options here: manual CPC, maximize clicks, and target ROAS, or which is an acronym for return on ad spend. If you're planning to stick with manual CPC, where you control the maximum bid for your cost per click. Now, although we have this option to select enhanced CPC, where Google used to bid higher above your manual bidding, however, those no longer apply. That has been redundant as of October 2023. So we're left with two other options here: maximize clicks or return on ad spend. Now, as this is a brand new campaign, there's two ways you can go about this, starting with automated bidding strategies. For us at our agency, we want to get feedback as quickly as possible on our data within the first month, particularly if we're wanting more control on the account because we don't have any conversions yet. So instead of starting with target ROAS, I would tend to start with manual CPC or maximizing clicks. The automated bidding strategy of target ROAS only really starts to work when we've had at least 50 more, like 100 conversions in an account. So Google's algorithm and machine learning can start using all those signals and data to go out and find more customers for your store. So if I was to select maximize clicks, I can always set a maximum cost per click bid limit. Leaving this unset, you're leaving it up to the Google gods to spend your money. I wouldn't do that. I would start with no more than 50 cents per click. And for this store, because we have items that are averaging around $30 to $50, I might start with just 30 cents per click. However, if you're going to start with a target ROAS, if you hover over this question mark, it will explain to you how target ROAS first. And if you just take this example real quick, if you're looking to get $5 in a sale for every $1 that you spend, that ROAS would mean 500%. So $1 in, 5 out. So you're looking for a 500% on your returns, like ROI, but different. If you've crunched your numbers and you know the margins you have, the profitability you have, the cost of goods sold, etc., you can state an average target ROAS across this entire campaign. In future videos, I will go through advanced strategies where you can group your products in different buckets in order to target a different return on your ad spend, depending on the return that you are looking for. An average return on ad spend is around 300%, can even be 400%. If you want to get your campaigns off the ground, you can go as low as 200 or even 250% if you're going down this path. Again, it's a little bit early for this account to be starting with this particular bidding strategy. We do need to get it warmed up with a lot of data, so let's start with maximize clicks. There's also portfolio strategies, which I'll cover off in another video. And for today, our budget, let's just start off with $5 a day. When it comes to budgeting, it all depends on what you want to start with. The more budget you have, the quicker you'll get data in the account and the quicker you can pivot and optimize your campaigns accordingly. Now, it needs to be noted that Google can spend up to 200% of your daily budget on any day, should the algorithm think there's conversions to be had. But over a month, it will even itself back out to spend what your daily spend would usually be. So for example, within 24 hours, I might spend $10. However, by the end of the month, I would have spent no more than $150 on my campaign. $5 times 30 is going to be $150. Under campaign priority, for this video, I'm going to leave it on default as recommended. I will cover off campaign priority more in depth in another video. This particularly comes into its own if you have more than one shopping campaign in the account. Coming under networks, I'm going to unselect Google search partners for now because I don't want to spread my budget too thin across other networks that generally don't yield results well. You may want to expand on this later on, but right now I want to have more control over my campaigns. Location options, we are going to target the United States. Now under target, we have two options, presence or interest or presence. Now be very careful when it comes to showing ads to people who have interest in your area. If you don't monitor this carefully, you may end up showing ads into locations or countries where you don't want to be selling products into. And if you get clicks on those ads, you're paying for that and it's wasting your ad spend. This could work well if you're in a local area and people do come in and out of that, like city, for example. This may make sense to have this selected, but as we're covering the entire United States, we only want to show our ads to people in or regularly in those targeted locations. So we'll select this one. We don't have an end date, so we can leave that. We'll give the ad group name, just call it test ad group, then select create campaign. Okay, and we are live. Now, although we're enabled and everything is set up, it may take up to 24 hours or 48 hours for ads to start showing. And there's always a delay with data coming into an account. So be patient with that. And that's how you get a Google Shopping ad created and set up. And in future videos, I'll show you how to optimize this campaign further with negative keywords, ads, experiments, and a lot more. So thanks for watching. And if you need any more help when it comes to these campaigns, leave a comment in the description below. I'll be happy to respond with however I can help. Otherwise, see you in the next video.